Good afternoon. This is All India Radio. I am Valsa Williams and with me is VC Pramod with the Midday News. The headlines. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh says India is committed to resolve the border issue with China through a fair and peaceful manner. India asserts Pakistan should desist from laying untenable claims to its territories which have no legal validity and international credibility. Health and Family Welfare Minister Dr. Harshvardhan says COVID-19 vaccine would be available in the country by early next year. Seva Sapta being organised across the country to mark Prime Minister Narendra Modi's birthday. President, Vice President greet on the occasion. In Jammu and Kashmir, 3 terrorists and 1 civilian killed in an encounter with security forces in Batmalu area of Srinagar today. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh today said that India is committed to resolve the current border issue with China in a fair and peaceful manner, and at the same time the country is also prepared to deal with all contingencies. He said China is trying to change the status quo at the line of actual control, which is unacceptable to India in any condition. The Defence Minister was making a statement in the Rajya Sabha on the developments on the border in Ladakh region.
किसी को भी हमारी सीमा की सुरक्षा के प्रति हमारे दृढ़ निश्चय या डिटर्मिनेशन के बारे में संदेह नहीं होना चाहिए। वहीं भारत यह भी मानता है कि पड़ोसियों के साथ शांतिपूर्ण संबंधों के लिए आपसी सम्मान और संवेदनशीलता भी यह रखना आवश्यक है।
Mr. Singh said the current situation is very different both in terms of scale of troops involved and number of friction points. He said the conduct of Indian forces throughout their standoff shows that while they maintained patience in face of provocative actions, they also equally displayed valor when required to protect the territorial integrity of the country.
चीन द्वारा एक बहुत ही वायलेंट फेस ऑफ की स्थिति 15 जून को गलवान में क्रिएट की गई। हमारे बहादुर सिपाहियों ने, बहादुर जवानों ने अपनी जान का बलिदान दिया, पर साथ ही चीनी पक्ष को भी भारी क्षति पहुंचाई है और अपनी सीमा की सुरक्षा में कामयाब भी रहे। इस पूरी अवधि के दौरान हमारे बहादुर जवानों ने जहां संयम की जरूरत थी वहां संयम रखा और जहां शौर्य की जरूरत थी वहां शौर्य का भी प्रदर्शन किया। मैं सदन से यह अनुरोध करता हूं कि हमारे सैनिकों की वीरता एवं बहादुरी की भूरी भूरी प्रशंसा की जानी चाहिए। हमारे बहादुर जवान अत्यंत मुश्किल परिस्थितियों में अपने अथक प्रयास से समस्त देशवासियों को सुरक्षित रखने के अपने दायित्व का निर्वहन कर रहे हैं।
The Defence Minister added that Chinese actions reflect a disregard for various bilateral agreements and amassing of troops by China goes against the 1993 and 1996 agreements.
चीन की कार्रवाई से हमारे विभिन्न द्विपक्षीय समझौतों के प्रति उसका डिसरिगार्ड दिखता है। चीन द्वारा ट्रूप्स की भारी मात्रा में तैनाती किया जाना 1993 और 1996 के समझौतों का उल्लंघन है। एलएसी का सम्मान करना और उसका कड़ाई से पालन किया जाना सीमा क्षेत्रों में शांति और सद्भाव का यह आधार है और इसे 1993 और 1996 के समझौतों में स्पष्ट रूप से स्वीकार भी किया गया है, जबकि हमारी आर्म्ड फोर्सेस इसका पूरी तरह से पालन करती हैं। चाइनीज साइड की ओर से ऐसा नहीं हुआ।
Mr. Singh said China in the last many decades undertook significant infrastructure construction activity to enhance their deployment capabilities in the border areas. The minister added that the Indian government has doubled the budget for border infrastructure development. He said China continues to be in illegal occupation of around 38,000 square kilometers in Ladakh and Pakistan illegally ceded 5,180 square kilometers of Indian territory in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir to China. Mr. Singh said border issues are a complex matter and both India and China have accepted that peace is essential for bilateral ties. Later, leaders cutting across party lines spoke in one voice against the Chinese aggression and reiterated their commitment to support the government and armed forces. Leader of opposition Ghulam Nabi Azad said the Congress is committed to protect the unity and integrity of the country. Former Defence Minister and senior Congress leader A.K. Antony said the government should work to ensure the situation at LAC prior to the 15th of April. P. Wilson of DMK and Ravi Prakash Verma of Samajwadi Party also extended their support to the government. Sanjay Raut of Shiv Sena and the government should always keep in mind the Chinese nature. Sanjay Singh of Aam Aadmi Party, Premchand Gupta of RJD, Binoy Vishwam of CPI, Elamaram Karim of CPI-M, Veer Singh of BSP and others also supported the government on the issue.
India has asserted that Pakistan should desist from laying untenable claims to its territories which have no legal validity and international credibility. This was stated by Minister of State for External Affairs V. Muralidharan in the Rajya Sabha on a question related to so-called political map of Pakistan, in which the neighbouring country had made absurd assertions and untenable claims to territories in Gujarat, Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh. The minister said New Delhi has rejected Islamabad's obsession with territorial aggrandizement supported by cross-border terrorism. Mr. Muralidharan added that the government continues to respond appropriately to Pakistan's malicious actions and propaganda, including on the issue of J&K at various international fora. India today said it desires normal neighbourly relations with Pakistan, reiterating that issues, if any, between the two countries should be resolved bilaterally and peacefully in an atmosphere free of terror, hostility and violence. In a written reply in Rajya Sabha, Minister of State for External Affairs V. Muralidharan said the onus is on Pakistan to create such a conducive atmosphere, including by taking credible, verifiable and irreversible action to not allow any territory under its control to be used for cross-border terrorism against India in any manner. He said India has consistently raised the issue of Pakistan's continued support to cross-border terrorism and terrorist infiltration at bilateral, regional and multilateral fora. He added that as a result there is enhanced concern in the international community at terrorism emanating from Pakistan, including the continuing activities of terrorist groups and individuals. The minister said major partner countries have called upon Islamabad to not allow its territory to be used for terrorism in any manner.
Health and Family Welfare Minister Dr. Harshvardhan today expressed the hope that a COVID-19 vaccine would be available in the country by early next year. He informed that 3 vaccine candidates have reached the clinical trial stage of phase 1, 2 and 3.
वैक्सीन के लिए जैसे दुनिया भर में प्रयास हो रहे हैं वैसे ही उतने ही प्रभावी प्रयास भारत में हो रहे हैं और भारत में हमारे जो कैंडिडेट वैक्सीन हैं उसमें 3 लगभग ऐसे हैं जो फेज 1, फेज 2 और फेज 3 के अंदर पहुंच गए हैं। उम्मीद है कि अगले साल के शुरुआत के अंदर हमें भारत के अंदर वैक्सीन उपलब्ध हो जानी चाहिए।
He appealed to people to adopt social distancing and 2 gaz ki duri as a social vaccine till the arrival of a vaccine. Replying to a discussion in the Rajya Sabha on COVID-19 pandemic situation in the country, he said an expert committee is working on the development of a vaccine by giving all the necessary support to the various bodies. He said India is working with WHO and other international organizations in the direction of vaccine development.
प्रधानमंत्री जी के मार्गदर्शन में एक एक्सपर्ट ग्रुप इस सारे विषय को भी बहुत गहराई से अध्ययन कर रहा है। एडवांस्ड इसके संदर्भ में प्लानिंग है। विश्व स्वास्थ्य संगठन से और दुनिया के अंदर भी जो जॉइंट प्रयास हो रहा है उसके साथ भी हम सबका कोऑर्डिनेशन है और आने वाले समय में जैसे ही वैक्सीन उपलब्ध होगी तो कोविड के खिलाफ जो हमारी जंग है उसको निश्चित रूप से हमें और ज्यादा मजबूती मिलेगी।
Appreciating the role of COVID warriors in the fight against COVID pandemic, he said the Prime Minister has taken every decision with the help of experts and the government tried to resolve every issue related to this disease. He said India started the fight against the COVID-19 disease from the initial days and fought this battle in an honest and meticulous manner. He added that effective contact tracing, surveillance mechanism and lockdown reduced the number of COVID-19 cases and mortality. The minister said the government provided every support to the state government and strengthened the laboratories network across the country to improve the COVID testing mechanism. He added that the country is conducting 11 lakh COVID tests every day and within a few days India will be the first country in the total number of tests. He said India has achieved self-reliance in the production of PPE kits and N95 masks.
The Union government has allocated more than 818 crore rupees to promote online learning to mitigate the effect of COVID-19 pandemic. In a written reply in the Rajya Sabha today, Education Minister Ramesh Pokhriyal Nishank said that over 267 crore rupees have been allocated for online teacher training. The minister said internet access under Bharat Net scheme has been made available to government institutions and to improve the internet connectivity in rural areas. He said his ministry has held several consultations with the states and union territories to ensure that the school-going students do not lag behind in their studies during COVID-19 pandemic. He said various initiatives like PM E-Vidya, Diksha platform, e-textbooks, rationalization of syllabus for examination, Manodarpan was started for the benefit of the students. The Union government has set up a task force to reconsider the legal age of marriage for women. This was stated by the Law and Justice Minister Ravi Shankar Prasad in a written reply in the Rajya Sabha today. The minister said a task force has been set up in June this year to examine the matters related to the age of motherhood, lowering maternal mortality ratio and improvement of nutritional levels. The government has said that there is no proposal to drop the Civil Services Aptitude Test from the Civil Services Examination conducted by the Union Public Service Commission. This was stated by the Minister of State for Personnel, Public Grievances and Pensions, Dr. Jitendra Singh, in a written reply in Rajya Sabha today. He also denied that the government is going to change the examination pattern of Civil Services Examination, including the replacement of interviews with a psychological test.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi turned 70 years of age today. Welfare activities are being organized across the country to mark his birthday today. Bharatiya Janata Party is organizing a week-long Seva Sapta to mark the occasion. Several programs related to cleanliness and social service are being organized from the 14th to the 20th of this month across the country. President Ramnath Kovind and Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu have greeted Prime Minister Narendra Modi on his birthday today. In a tweet, the President said, Mr. Modi has presented an ideal of loyalty in India's life values and democratic tradition. He prayed for his good health and said the nation continues to receive his invaluable services. In a tweet, Mr. Naidu congratulated the Prime Minister for his efforts to take the country to new heights. He said under his dynamic leadership, the government is effectively addressing various challenges. Home Minister Amit Shah has also greeted Mr. Modi on his birthday. In a tweet, he said the Prime Minister is the most popular leader of the country who is devoted to the nation's service and welfare of the poor. He said, in the form of Narendra Modi, the country has got a leadership that connected the sections deprived of public welfare policies to the mainstream of development and laid the foundation of a strong India. Information and Broadcasting Minister Prakash Zavadekar said Mr. Narendra Modi has taken the country to new heights with determination and strong willpower.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi has given a hope to the people of India that yes, our country will change for the better and change faster. He has given a hope and has proved in the last 6 years that he is a doer. He does what he speaks and he speaks what he thinks in the larger interest of the country. He has no other obsession except to serve the nation. And therefore, people's love and affection for him is growing day by day.
Russian President Vladimir Putin extended greetings to Prime Minister Narendra Modi on his 70th birthday and lauded his personal contribution to the strengthening of strategic partnership between India and Russia. In a letter to Mr. Modi, President Putin said his activity as India's head of the government has earned him the well-deserved respect of compatriots and high international prestige. He also said under Mr. Modi's leadership, India is successfully moving along the path of socio-economic, scientific and technical development. German Chancellor Angela Merkel today greeted Prime Minister Narendra Modi on his 70th birthday and noted that they have succeeded in consolidating further the traditionally good relations between Germany and India for the benefit of the peoples of the two countries. In a letter to Mr. Modi, she said that she is happy to take this opportunity to thank him for their trustful and constructive cooperation. The Chancellor said together, over the past few years, they have succeeded in consolidating even further the traditionally good relations between India and Germany. She also vowed to work together to overcome the challenges, including the coronavirus pandemic.
You are listening to the Midday News on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh says India is committed to resolve the border issue with China in a fair and peaceful manner. India asserts Pakistan should desist from laying untenable claims to its territories which have no legal validity and international credibility. Health and Family Welfare Minister Dr. Harshvardhan says COVID-19 vaccine would be available in the country by early next year. Seva Sapta being organized across the country to mark Prime Minister Narendra Modi's birthday. President, Vice President greet on the occasion. In Jammu and Kashmir, 3 terrorists and 1 civilian killed in an encounter with security forces in Batmalu area of Srinagar today. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
All India Radio presents Northeast Diary. Glimpses of the news of the week from the northeastern states.
All about the region, a gateway to Southeast Asia, the developments and the destinations to look forward to.
News from the art, cultural and entertainment world of the northeastern states of India. All this and more.
Every Thursday, 5:30 to 6 p.m. in the evening on 100.1 All India Radio FM News Channel.
In our series on Seva Sapta, today we bring you a special story on agriculture sector. In the last 6 years, the Modi government has laid a lot of emphasis on the welfare of farmers. With the mantra of Annadata Sukhi Bhava, the government is focusing on the dissemination of technology till the last mile and making the farmers more competitive in the global value chain. Last month, Mr. Narendra Modi had launched the financing facility of 1 lakh crore rupees under the Agriculture Infrastructure Fund.
देश में कृषि से जुड़ी सुविधाएं तैयार करने के लिए 1 लाख करोड़ रुपए का विशेष फंड लॉन्च किया गया है। इससे गांवों-गांवों में बेहतर भंडारण, आधुनिक कोल्ड स्टोरेज की चेन तैयार करने में मदद मिलेगी और गांव में रोजगार के अनेक अवसर तैयार होंगे।
In Maharashtra, the Seva Sapta, organized by the BJP to celebrate the birthday of its senior leader and Prime Minister Narendra Modi, is being held at various places in the state. Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray, in a tweet, extended best wishes to the Prime Minister on his birthday and wished him for a healthy and happy life. Deputy Chief Minister Ajit Pawar, who has wished Mr. Modi on his birthday, expressed confidence that the country will once again walk on the path of development by overcoming the crisis of COVID-19 economic front under the leadership of the senior BJP leader. Our correspondent has more details.
As part of the Seva Sapta, a series of programs have been organized by the state unit of the BJP in Maharashtra. In Nagpur, eye testing camps have been organized by the BJP along with Mahatme Eye Bank Eye Hospital in rural areas of the district. The camp is held by following the COVID-19 protocols and people are seen maintaining physical distancing. Apart from this, free distribution of eyeglasses is also been done. In Washim, cleanliness drive was organized and saplings were planted. In Dhule, a pledge was taken on the occasion to make the district COVID-free. Health checkups of people are also been done by the teams of municipal corporation in the city. The state unit of the BJP has also organized photo exhibition of Prime Minister Modi in its office in Mumbai. Besides, plasma donation and blood donation camps are also held. Kunal Shinde, AIR News, Mumbai.
As part of Seva Sangathan, Karnataka wing of the Bharatiya Janata Party is organizing Seva Sapta from 14th of September. State BJP President Nalin Kumar Katil has called upon the party cadres to engage in social service activities to mark the birthday of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The state party office has organized various events for the welfare of the physically challenged and marginalized sections of society during the Seva Sapta. More from our correspondent.
Seva Saptaha is being organized across the state at the mandal level. Each mandal office is distributing prosthetic limbs and assistive devices to 70 physically challenged persons. Those who have recovered from COVID infection are donating their plasma. 70 persons in each mandal office level will be distributed free eyeglasses. As part of the Saptah, blood donation camps, tree plantation drives, Swachhata drive and distribution of fruits and provisions among the poor are being carried out. The party is also organizing 70 virtual seminars on the positive impact of flagship programs of the central government. Suthindra, AIR News, Bengaluru.
In Assam, various programs are being held today to mark the birthday of Prime Minister Narendra Modi as Seva Sapta. The BJP is carrying a plantation drive at 28,000 booths. State BJP President Ranjit Kumar Das inaugurated the plantation drive in Guwahati. Later in the day, a felicitation program is to be held in Guwahati, where Chief Minister Sarbandan Sonowal will also be present. A total of 70 artists will be felicitated.
The government today said the country's recovery rate among the COVID-19 patients has reached 78.64%. During the last 24 hours, more than 82,000 COVID patients have recovered. The Health Ministry said the total number of recoveries has reached over 40,25,000. The constantly increasing recoveries have ensured that the actual caseload of the country has reduced and currently comprises only 19.73% of the total positive cases. It said that active cases of COVID-19 in the country are less than 1/5 of the total cases. Presently, the total number of active cases in the country is 10,09,000. Currently, India's case fatality rate is at 1.63%, which is one of the lowest globally. In the last 24 hours, 1,132 deaths have been reported, taking the toll to 83,198. According to the ICMR, the total number of samples tested so far has reached over 6 crore 5 lakhs. Odisha has already conducted more than 26 lakh tests for COVID-19, with about 50,000 tests per day. The cumulative tests have reached 26,19,601, resulting in a total of 1,67,161 positive cases, while 1,29,859 patients have already recovered. The state now has an active caseload of 36,580. A report.
Going by the day's tally yesterday, while the positive cases mounted by 4,241, the recovery case count too climbed up by 4,121, thereby closing the gap down to a little over 100 positive cases. Yet another positive trend in the viral spread in the state is that only about half the districts of the state have been reporting a daily addition of 100+ cases, with the other half standing tough against the transmission. Among these, Ganjam district has emerged as one shining example in limiting the viral surge down to below 100 and even below 50 cases per day for the last so many days. Girish Chandra Das, Bhubaneswar.
Gujarat government has decided not to follow the guidelines of the Centre for partial opening of schools from 21st of September. This was announced by State Education Minister Bhupendra Singh Chudasama in Gandhinagar. AIR correspondent reports that this decision was taken during the State Cabinet meeting held yesterday.
The centre had permitted the class 9 to 12 students to visit their school with the written consent of their parents from 21st September. However, this guideline of Unlock 4 will not be implemented in Gujarat. As this provision was not binding for the states, the government of Gujarat has decided that the partial reopening of schools for class 9 to 12 will not be effective as of now. The state government has taken this decision in view of continuous spread of COVID-19 infections in the state. Yogesh Pandya, Air News, Ahmedabad.
In Tamil Nadu, the active COVID-19 caseload remained under 50,000 for the 8th consecutive day yesterday. The total infection has reached nearly 5.2 lakh, while the recoveries have gone up to more than 4.64 lakh. Meanwhile, the Madras IIT said its team has developed a novel method to detect the COVID-19 causing virus in a person in just 5 minutes. More from our correspondent.
The IIT Madras has claimed that its new method to test for the SARS-CoV-2 virus in a person that causes COVID-19 disease can be detected in just 5 minutes from his saliva. It is developed jointly with an US-based healthcare diagnostics platform called Recover Healthcare. The project has won the Ignition Grants Award from the US-India Science and Technology Endowment Fund, established jointly by both the countries. The new diagnostic process is said to be capable of sensing active viral particles on the spot without needing a specialized laboratory. The IIT says the innovative detection technique and the simple use of saliva will help bring a cost-effective and user-friendly device for making COVID-19 tests economical and reliable. Jai Singh, AIR News, Chennai.
In Assam, the State Education Department has issued guidelines for opening of schools and colleges from the 21st of this month. The standard operating procedure issued by Principal Secretary of the Department, B. Kalyan Chakraborty, said classes will resume for 9th to 12th standard students with due care. Standard 9th and 12th students to attend classes on Monday, Wednesday and Friday, while other 3 days will be reserved for standard 10th and 11th students. For every class, maximum of 20 students to be allowed to attend, and classes will be held in 2 batches. However, the students must carry the no objection certificate of the guardians. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has greeted people on Mahalaya. In a tweet, Mr. Modi said, "This Mahalaya, we pray to Ma Durga to bless us with strength to overcome the global pandemic." He hoped that the divine blessings of Ma Durga will ensure good health and happiness in everyone's life. The Prime Minister hoped that our planet will prosper. The Prime Minister has also greeted people on Vishwakarma Jayanti. In a tweet, Mr. Modi said, "Today is the day dedicated to those for whom work is worship, who by their creation enrich the entire humanity." In a video message, the Prime Minister said we should have skills as we have knowledge of books to move forward in life.
In the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, 3 terrorists were killed in an encounter that broke out between terrorists and security forces at Batmalu area in the outskirts of Srinagar city today. According to police, a joint team of security forces launched a cordon and search operation in Batmalu following the intelligence inputs about the presence of terrorists in the area. As the joint team approached the suspected spot, the terrorists fired upon them. That ensued in an encounter which resulted in the killing of 3 terrorists. The identity of the slain terrorists is being ascertained. A 45-year-old woman identified as Kausar Riaz of Batmalu was also killed in the crossfiring, and a deputy commandant of the 117 Battalion of the Central Reserve Police Force was critically injured and subsequently shifted to Army's 92 Base Hospital at Badami Bagh in Srinagar for treatment. Meanwhile, DG of Police Dilbagh Singh in a press conference in Srinagar said that 177 terrorists have been killed this year in Jammu and Kashmir. Giving details to media persons, the DGP said that 165 terrorists have been killed in Kashmir and 12 in Jammu region. Among them, 22 were foreign terrorists who have been killed in different encounters this year. 20 terrorists have also been brought back into the mainstream this year, he added. The News Services Division of All India Radio and its bilingual live phone-in program tonight will bring you a special discussion on COVID-19. Dr. Neeraj Nishchal, Assistant Professor at AIIMS, will participate in the discussion. Listeners can ask questions to the experts on toll-free telephone number 1800-115767. One can also ask questions on telephone number 011-233-14444 and post queries on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts by #AskAIR.
Now let us take a look at the weather update for the day. In the national capital Delhi today, the minimum temperature was recorded at 27 degrees Celsius, while the maximum will be around 38 degrees. In Mumbai, sky is likely to be cloudy and there is possibility of light rain. The temperature is likely to hover between 26 and 32 degrees. In Chennai, the lower limit of temperature was 26 degrees Celsius, while the maximum is expected to be around 32. In Kolkata, minimum temperature was 28 degrees, while maximum is likely to be around 34. In Jammu and Kashmir, minimum temperature was recorded at 25 degrees Celsius in Jammu, while maximum to be around 36 degrees. The city will have mainly clear sky. In Srinagar, temperature will hover between 12 and 30 degrees Celsius. The city is likely to have a mainly clear sky. Ladakh has mainly clear sky too, and the temperature may hover between 9 and 26 degrees Celsius. In Gilgit, the minimum temperature was 13 degrees and the maximum will be around 28 degrees, with the city having mainly clear sky. Muzaffarabad is also to have a mainly clear sky. The minimum temperature was 18 degrees, maximum is likely to be around 35 degrees. In Dehradun, the minimum temperature was 24 degrees Celsius, maximum will be around 33 degrees. The Income Tax Department has issued refunds of over 1,06,000 crore rupees to more than 30 lakh taxpayers between the 1st of April to 15th September this year. In a tweet, Central Board of Direct Taxes said income tax refunds of 31,741 crore rupees have been issued in over 29 lakh cases. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh says India is committed to resolve the border issue with China in a fair and peaceful manner. India asserts Pakistan should desist from laying untenable claims to its territories which have no legal validity and international credibility. Health and Family Welfare Minister Dr. Harshvardhan says COVID-19 vaccine would be available in the country by early next year. Seva Sapta being organized across the country to mark Prime Minister Narendra Modi's birthday. President, Vice President greet on the occasion. And in Jammu and Kashmir, 3 terrorists and 1 civilian killed in an encounter with security forces in Batmalu area of Srinagar today. And with that, we end the midday news.